All right, Nick. It's your kind of show, man. This is your kind of show.
Let's go.
The big platoon swinging, Dane Myers, and the big switch hitting Elly De La Cruz. Who knew? Boy, I'll tell you what. I mean, can we just at least admit on the front end of this that Elly's a really good player? Can we just all, like everybody, come to that conclusion now? Can we just agree that he's a really good player?
It's bold.
I'm just saying, like, we don't have to act as if he's not a really good player ever again. Not just because of this game, to be clear, but because there's this game and a lot of other games.
Looking pretty decent playing the old defense too.
Yeah, he's not looking too bad. So far, so good. Spencer Steer hitting left-handed pitching yet again.
Crushing them.
Didn't hear the story on Brock Burke. I got to tell you, though, I was like half hearing it and half getting set up here. That's what that was. Okay.
Yes.
All right. It was a really unique.
I'm assuming if they would have sold enough ads that they probably wouldn't do the sleepwalker in the ninth inning.
Gotcha. So you're suggesting they That's a good point by you. I didn't really think of that. I did see now you're ruining it. I thought maybe we were valuing content and the consumer more than the advertiser, but I should know better. As an American TV watcher, I should definitely know better.
No, they ran out of commercials in the ninth.
My kids love the hat game. The ball underneath the hat. That's a good addition to the
See,
Reds
that's an oldie for me. Like we've been rocking that for like 4 years. The
shout out to
the games that were on Roku. I don't think they do the Roku games anymore, but the games that were on Roku, they would like have those as the ad like every single commercial break.
Stevenson's making a nice night out of ABS as well. That's going to be a hit. Nope, it's not going to be a hit.
Well, that was pizza via ABS. So that was the reaction.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were just excited.
They weren't just that excited about the ABS.
Should have known better. Should have known better. Should have known that the wave in the eighth inning with the tying run coming to the plate was maybe my sign that the fans were there for a party. They're there for fun. And they weren't there totally for the investment of living and dying by every pitch.
I tell you who's good at ABS challenges behind the plate is Travis d'Arnaud. Some sicko might have had over walks on an Angels pitcher yesterday, and man, this guy did not miss. He did not miss.
You and Brendan Sorsby need to go to the same class.
Well, the difference between me and Brendan Sorsby is Sorsby was a loser at betting. Clearly,
gotcha.
I am not.
Oh man, that does bring me up to a funny story. One year, this was of course years ago, back when I was religious about trying to be as much research as humanly possible, and by that I mean just the public lines. Reds win 7-2, but to finish this story, my mom was worried about me a little bit because whenever you're living and dying by games that you probably shouldn't care about, some think you have a problem. But my mom asked me if I had a problem, and I said, "You think I should call the 1-800 number and tell them I'm winning too much, Mom? I'm just winning way too much. You got to get it out of my hands." But nonetheless, you know who else is winning? Not too much. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because they're not winning enough. They're never winning enough. I hope they keep on winning. Is your Cincinnati Reds. They win 7-2. And as we always do, we'll be right back with a winning edition of Chatterbox Reds.
Johnny Bench has tied it up. The Cincinnati Reds win the World Series in 4 straight. It was a sweep.
In the dirt, it's a wild pitch. Here comes Boston. The Reds win the pennant.
Larkins won the game.
That ball is fair. Cincinnati's ahead. 2 games to none.
Welcome Joe Randa to Cincinnati. Adam Dunn has done it again. Benzinger backing and calling. And the 1990 World Championship belongs to the Cincinnati Reds.
Marty, yes. This is Adam from Milwaukee. Hey, Adam, how you doing? I'm good. How are you? Good. Do you think Scott Chatterbox is a good player?
Dunn up there with the bases loaded, the outfield deep and around toward right, and the 1-0 on the way to the plate. Swung on, long drive, right field, and this one belongs to the Reds.
And a high drive. Hit back into deep right field. Junior has just knocked the door down to the 500 club.
Benson's first home run is a walk-off winner. That ball had a family.
And De La Cruz is, oh my goodness, look at this kid run. My, oh my, that is a triple.
Matt McClain's first big league bomb.
Spencer Steer's first big league hit is a home run to straightaway center field. Joey Votto's done it again.
The pitch. Votto swings high in the air. Right field. Yes! He pointed to the dugout to say, I told you. That is Joey Votto's 315th career go-ahead ribby. Only Johnny Bench had more as a Red.
And I can't tell you how much it means to play in front of everyone here in Cincinnati as a Red. What a gift. What a tremendous gift. So thank you. Thank you.
I think I can speak for all of Reds country. Joey Votto, thank you.
High drive. Left center field. Racing back to the Laurent Bourgeois. The Reds are National League Central Division champions. In the air, left center field. Did he? Did he? He did. He did. Reds win. Win. Line to the right field. Judges the first run ever with 4 home runs in a game. Can you believe it? In the air, down the right field line. Does it have a chance? The Reds have won on a 3-run home run on opening day by Ramon Hernandez. A strike away and out away is Homer Bailey. Ground ball to third. Frazier gloves. Throw to first, and Homer Bailey, for the second time in his major league career, has tossed a no-hitter. Oh, gosh. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? Holy Moses, the second player in major league history to hit 7 home runs in the first 10 games. In the air, and the Reds win. What a dream beginning to the career of Cruz.
All right, Nick. This wasn't just like your traditional winning edition of Chatterbox Reds. This was like a nice, beautiful winning edition of Chatterbox Reds. And what I mean by that is if you didn't get a chance to see the game, a lot of things just went right. They just went as right as you could ever hope for. And I got to tell you, Nick, I don't know if you've seen the chat lately, but we are popping off in here. We got some big-time super chats rolling through. We don't unit shame in here. We don't unit shame at all. Okay, that's not what we do on Chatterbox Reds. So we're going to run through the supers right here before we get started. Jay Mouse says the Reds are 0-5 before off days, but he wants you to know they're 5-0 after them. Some would say that's 500 before and after off days. If this team goes 500 for the rest of the year, some are saying they might make the playoffs. Not me. I'm not saying that, but some are saying it. J Mouse 15 then chimes in and says he wants to extend Burns. The price tag will only go up the more that he starts to figure this out. Need to take chances on guys eventually before they become stars. Hashtag ATOB. Hashtag, let me get this right. Hashtag ATOBTTR. And this one belongs to the Reds. Yeah, I mean, we can get into all that maybe at the back end of the show. I mean, the truth is that the Reds are they've tried to take chances. Oddly enough, the one guy they tried to take a chance on turned it down, and he's probably the guy that we should all, be somewhat thankful maybe that he turned it down so far, even though I still do believe in Matt McClain. Tim Barnes says, Lowe gives you big league at bats. Boy, does he ever give you big league at bats. He may need to no longer be on the bench even when Gino comes back. That's what we talked about on yesterday's show, or I should say Sunday's show. Probably longer than maybe we should have, but it's just like, if these guys start playing as well as they have been playing, it's going to be hard to figure that whole thing out. But you know what? That's a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have. Trajan Garvey, he's starting to make a name for himself in these supers, I'll tell you. He says, I'm not sure if Friedel could start on Trace's son's Little League team. I'm here to tell you. I think he could, actually. I'm telling you he could. All right, I'm here to tell you. TJ Friedel could start on that team. I can promise you that. I've watched enough of it. Also, I saw my buddy. This is great. She's just killing his buddy, but I'm all for it. Also, saw my buddy Chris Robbins steal a ball from a little kid during today's game. Dunny177 says, why are we platooning Hines versus lefties? Why? We'll talk about that probably in the show a little bit. But hey, listen, the Reds win 7-2. Let's try to keep the vibes high. And nobody's keeping the vibes higher than our man Jonathan. He said, I just wanted to support the show. Go Reds. 100 bomb. Some would say that's meat territory. And of course the comments below it are that. Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, there's no one more appreciative of you supporting this show than the two of us and Craig and everybody else that helps us. So thank you. Rolf, as always, coming in. 208 in here, and just waiting for Reed Mouse, the blue blob, to show up, lick his wounds, and apologize. It'll be 450 people in 5 minutes. Just make sure the stream, the Reds win. It's very easy for those little stitions. I mean, he's using big words. Rolf, after a Reds win, buddy. I need him. I need layman's terms. Trajan then chimes in and says, Sal Stewart changed his life. Go Reds. Yes, and cash considerations as we get into the show. Says he's sending cash considerations. ATTOBTR. I'm still better than CES. Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, CES might make a run in the sun at some point. We'll see. Who knows? But it doesn't matter. You know why? Because the Reds win, Nick. Before we get going, there's really not much more for me to say outside the fact that there was just a lot of positive things that happened, and they were all over the place. And, of course, Elly's maybe the brightest spot of them all, yes, but you even had situations where Sal was able to kind of get it's weird to say this, and I don't mean it to come off too crazy, but it's nice to see Sal rip a double just to make sure that he's still, the superstar that we think that he is. I didn't want him to have to go, like 1 for his last 9. That would have been a little concerning, panic, pandemonium was about to set in. And, oh my gosh, Sal Stewart hasn't gotten a hit. Elly makes some good plays defensively. You even have Steer getting a massive, massive home run there to kind of give us a little bit of a cushion of a lead. Dane Myers had a hell of a day. What more is there to say outside the fact that maybe, just maybe, when you put good players in the lineup, the lineup isn't actually a problem, maybe. We'll find out. Or we're just playing the Rockies, and we're going to live that up for the next 3 days. We'll see.
Yep, keep it coming. This is like the exact opposite of last year this time. How about this stat here, Trace?
I love
Reds
that.
8-2 in series openers, and let's not forget they lost the first one, so that would be 8-1 in their last 9 series openers.
And also, they won that. They won that first series.
Yeah.
So you got to ask yourself at some point, are they good? I don't know. I don't know if we've gotten to that point yet. I mean, let's face it. I think that there's a lot of us that love this team, that think that there's certainly some firepower here, and there's some reason to be excited. It's just like this weird hurdle to make for me of saying, all right, we're just good. Like this is going to be the way it's going to be. I mean, I'm going to stop holding my breath here on this whole thing. Now, I get it. It's the Rockies. I got to remind people, Rockies did win a series against the Dodgers not that long ago. I mean, it's just, I'm not going to apologize for beating any team in Major League Baseball. And, yeah, I mean, let's just get into it. Jump into the box score recap, and then we'll obviously get into the nuts and bolts of the game and probably some storylines as we move forward.
All right. Your box score recap presented by Sharefax Credit Union. Sharefax is rooted right here in Cincinnati with 9 branches across the city. They're a not-for-profit financial institution, which means they're owned by their members. So instead of profits going to shareholders, they're returned to you through lower fees, better rates, and all the traditional banking options you'd expect. Right now, Sharefax has a great auto loan promotion. You can get 1.5% off your qualified rate when you refinance your vehicle, and your first payment isn't due for 90 days. Loans are subject to membership and credit approval, and restrictions may apply. For full terms and conditions, visit sharefax.org, apply online, or give them a call at 513-753-2440. All right, Reds taking on the Colorado Rockies, game 1 of 3 at Great American Ballpark. Chase Burns against Kyle Freeland. Burns struck out 3 batters in the top of the first. He became the fastest Reds pitcher to reach 100 strikeouts in franchise history. In the bottom of the first, Dane Myers led off with a walk, got to second base on a fielder's choice. Then Elly De La Cruz singled home the game's first run. Then with 2 outs, Spencer Steer crushed a home run off the lefty Kyle Freeland to make it 3-0 Reds. The Rockies got a run back in the top of the third on a solo home run, but the Reds got that right back in the bottom of the third. Dane Myers and Elly De La Cruz produced another run. Myers singled, stole second, and Elly singled him home to make it 4-1. Rockies would get one more run off Burns in the fourth, but that would be all they'd get. Final line for Chase Burns, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Graham Ashcraft pitched around 2 base runners in the 7th. Tony Santillan pitched around 2 base runners in the 8th. In the bottom of the 8th, the Dane Myers and Elly De La Cruz show once again. Myers led off with a bunt single, and Elly De La Cruz capped off a brilliant day with a 2-run bomb to make it 7-2 Reds. Brock Burke shut the door in the 9th. Reds win 7-2. Reds now 19-10 on the season.
19-10. Unbelievable, if we're being honest. Deep drive of the day came off the bat of Spencer Steer. 102 off the bat, 411 feet. My eyes went directly to the win probability because this is always kind of a weird number that sometimes it's like way more of a jump than you normally think based off the time of the day, the time of the game, et cetera, et cetera. But, I mean, to be honest, it felt like a massive swing that got the Reds out to a nice early lead. It was only a jump of 15%, but it would take their win probability up to 78%, give the Reds a 3-0 lead. And for those that are wondering, it's his 5th of the season. Deep Drive of the Day is sponsored by QC Kinetix. If knee pain or shoulder pain is slowing you down, and it's not slowing Spencer Steer down this year, okay? It might have been slowing him down a little bit at the beginning of last year, but it's not slowing him down this year. But if it is slowing you down, whether it's on the golf course, the pickleball court, or even the gym, it might be time to talk to the care team at QC Kinetix Cincinnati about regenerative medicine options. QC Kinetix takes a different approach, focusing on treatments designed to help your body heal and recover. They're conveniently located in Liberty Township, right across from Lakota East High School, and you can see what the care team at QC Kinetix is all about by visiting QCkinetix.com, or you can call 513-655-3356. All right, storylines of the game. I think the main one is going to be Elly De La Cruz. I don't know if you have Dane Myers in the back half or not, but I'm going to tell you right now, that was the tag team duo that kind of made that kind of made this whole thing go, right? Whether or not perhaps there was more pressure on the pitcher just because Myers was out there, I don't know. But it was just nice to see something we haven't seen a lot this year, if we're being completely honest, which is pressure put on the defense immediately to start off the game. And not only pressure from the standpoint that, yeah, there's a base runner, but, you're able to maybe swipe a bag. And if you're able to swipe a bag, then maybe more attention's put on the fact that you might do that, and it draws your attention away from whoever's at the plate. And it was just nice to see the Reds get off to a good start. Obviously, Steer, we mentioned, hit the home run to kind of give them that early lead. But Elly, probably, maybe I'm probably prisoner of the moment here, but top 10 game that he's had in a Reds uniform, just all things considered, of what happened in this game, whether it be the play that he made in the hole. That was just his pure athleticism. Not many guys in the entire league, if he might be the only guy in the league that can make that play. And even the ball that took a little bit of a weird hop on the double play, that was a big double play. I mean, people forget it was a tight game. You got out of the inning because of the double play, but if he, hypothetically speaking, Nick, if he doesn't make that play at all and he boots it and it goes into center field, the guy goes from first to third, a run scores, you find yourself in a one-run game with guys on first and third with one out. Again, like small things that you probably don't remember when you look at the box score, 7-2, no big deal. It was a routine double play, but it wasn't routine. It took a bad hop. He was able to secure it. McLean was able to turn it. And that was a huge moment in the game that I think will probably go a little unnoticed by many that probably maybe didn't watch it or were casually watching. But is that fair to say? Top 10 game? Am I not giving it enough credit maybe?
Yeah, I mean, all around, yeah. I might say top 5, to be honest. I mean, just that defensive play might have been his best defensive play he's ever made. Trying to think of one better. Love to find it. Just send it to me if there's one better. I mean, it's got to be up there. I mean, just the degree of difficulty on that was crazy. But that double play was kind of the exact play he had really struggled with last year. Like, that was the play that he would, took a bad hop and he wouldn't be able to convert the double play. Maybe he just gets one out of that and a run score. So, yeah, that was a huge, huge play in the game. I completely agree. And then, 2 singles. One was a little soft hit single that he was able to take the other way. The other one was an absolute rocket. So kind of a little bit of everything, and then hits that home run to really kind of just put this game to bed. So, yeah, Elly's just, I mean, it's just, it's so easy to take him for granted. But, I mean, I remember the second half last year and how he can struggle. So what he's doing is really remarkable. And if there's really anything that just kind of gives you the most confidence that this team could continue this, it's really starts and ends with Elly De La Cruz.
Certainly. And I mean, I would say that they always say that the hits average themselves out, the bloopers and the line drives, they average themselves out over the course of the year. I don't totally think that that's true from the standpoint that if you are a good hitter, I think more times than not, you're probably going to hit balls pretty hard right at somebody than actually hitting a bloop single. But it's nice to know that baseball still exists where you could hit a ball 115 miles an hour and Javi Baez catches the ball, you get out, and you can hit a ball right off your fist, have no idea where it's going, and it floats out there into the Bermuda Triangle there down the right field line, and you get a base hit out of it. So I don't really know what there is to say about Elly other than this. I think that it was reasonable and fair to question his defense of what it actually was coming into the year. And what I mean by that is he clearly was a plus defender when he came into the league. I don't think for a single second most Reds fans that watched on a daily basis had any devastating concerns and thought he needed to move to center field after his first year, or maybe even his first 2 years, however you want to look at it. But last year he struggled and he didn't make the routine play. And ultimately it started snowballing and he had too many throwing errors as well. So it was something to keep an eye on. And I thought, I'll be the first to admit the idea of him moving positions crept in my mind a little bit just from the standpoint of where last year was headed. And if last year rolled into this year, I thought that the noise was going to get really, 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 really loud. And that was going to be pretty devastating, I thought, for this franchise, with Elly having to maybe consider moving positions because they don't think he's good enough at shortstop. Because most people probably don't realize how big of an asset he is to be able to play shortstop at the level that he does, and the monetary means that we pay him. It's just it's a massive leg up when you're trying to compete with major market teams, right? Every time you get into this battle of trying to figure out, well, how can you compete against other teams' payrolls? Well, you have to be able to find guys that don't get paid nearly the same amount of money as other stars do in the league, but you have them on your team because you homegrown them and you found them and you've made them who they are. And Elly right now is that sacred piece, if we're being completely honest. And he has been unbelievable this year so far. And now I think we've entered the territory of not having, personally, now I'm sure others might disagree with this, I personally think we've entered the territory for me to like not really worry about him anymore. And what I mean by that is like name a star quarterback in the NFL. Name or use Joey Votto, I guess, is a great example of what he was in Cincinnati through almost the entirety of his career. Maybe the back last year or two wasn't the same, but for the majority of Joey Votto's career, you just knew what you were getting, and you knew that you could come to expect that. I think that I've entered the territory with Elly that I just come to expect that. Will he struggle at some point this year? Yes, but everybody does that. Hell, there was years where Joey Votto went the entire first half and was a below-average hitter, and then all of a sudden the second half, he was the best hitter in Major League Baseball, and all of a sudden his year looked completely different from one half to the next. So, yes, he will struggle at some point, but I am done, I guess, getting on a panic train anytime something happens with Elly De La Cruz. And I know your answer to this, but go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, if he would have had a bad year defensively this year, I think it would have been a real conversation in the offseason. But, yeah, he's taken massive strides. I don't know if you saw Paul Hembo does the podcast with Buster Olney for ESPN, had a really insightful little commentary on it, talked about his timing, Elly's timing, and how that's been improved, and used some statistics to back it up. And how Elly doesn't need to throw a runner out by 3 steps, just throw him out by 1.5 or 2. And it seems like the time he's getting there. And, you know, like a guy like Barry Larkin had 29 errors when he was 24 years old. And then the rest of his career, he never went over 17 again. Like it was a young thing, and he went move past it. And you hope that that's where Elly De La Cruz is. And I don't see any reason right now not to believe that is the case. He looks like he's cleaned that aspect up, but you know, the whole center field talk, like, just think how much more difficult it would be to field a team right now if you put Elly out in center field. Like, you probably would have like Sal Stewart playing second base. Like, your whole infield defense would just be so much weaker. Like Sal looks really good at first base. He would not look that good at second base. There would be a lot of plays they weren't making. I don't think McLean would be as good at shortstop as he is at second base. I think McLean is a really good defensive second baseman. I think your hope with him at shortstop is he would be an average shortstop. So, like, it's just the whole moving pieces. The fact that he's solidified, I'm the shortstop, you can put that talk to bed. I think that just makes everything around it just so much easier to build a team.
Of course it does. I mean, I would say that there's no better place to look than what we have at third base, really. I mean, that shows you what instability will do to a franchise. I'm not trying to open up the wound again here and rip the Band-Aid off yet again, but like, if Candelario was a really good player, there's an argument to be made that the outlook and the amount of resources that this team would have had in the offseason to go do other things would be significantly different. And don't kill me for saying it, but the truth of the matter is that I would argue that Kyle Schwarber probably, and I this is very hypothetical, I get, but probably is a Red if you don't sink that much money into one position that's no longer a position that you even have him at. He's not even on the team anymore. And, oh, by the way, you went and traded for a guy for that also same position that now you are starting to question yet again whether or not that's going to work. And again, I'm not trying to go down that path tonight, but the truth is like, if you keep having this revolving door around positions that you're not sure if that is the right move or not, it's really, really hard to build anything special. And Elly is going to be the centerpiece of anything that this franchise does in the next few years, if they're capable of being able to put enough around him. And maybe maybe we have that this year. But the truth is that he is undervalued. He's undervalued probably, despite the fanfare that we put around him because of what he means to the position that he plays. And I keep saying that. To your point, as far as heirs go, I just wanted to bring one more point up about Elly and we can move on. Derek Jeter made 56 errors. I almost thought this wasn't right when I first looked at this. And I'm not trying to suggest that Derek Jeter is the end-all, be-all perfect fielder. Because of all people, there's many people that think he's over it. I'm just saying, though, he made 56 errors when he was 19. Now, I don't care who you are and how great you are. If you make that many errors in 1 year, you can't get to the big leagues. You can't get to the big leagues. Now, here's the thing, though. The reason I even know this exists is because I was listening to a guy that was in the minor league system with them when he was there, and he was explaining how they really weren't that concerned because of the errors that he was making had a lot to do with just a simple mechanic they thought they could fix. Now, I'm not saying that his mechanic and Elly's mechanic are the same thing, but what I am saying that's maybe the most important thing that I've seen out of Elly so far is that he's showcased that he's getting better. He's showcased that he's improved on something. There's a lot of talented people in this world, Nick, that are capable of getting to a certain level, but they don't know how to go to another gear. They don't know how to make themselves just a little bit better to take them to the next layer. And I think that Elly has showcased that he's just a lot better player. He's just a lot better player this year. And whether or not, he'll make another leap forward in the next year, I don't know. But that is maybe the brightest sign that you could possibly have with Elly is that he looks like he's just gotten better by the work that he's put in.
Two quick things. Number one, Derek Jeter would not play shortstop today. I think that the defensive metrics would have moved him to second base. And second, just to clean something up, Kyle Schwarber didn't want to come to Cincinnati because he wanted a chance to win a World Series. So that's why he's with the Philadelphia Phillies right now.
I can't argue that. I can't. I really can't argue that. I think that's a fair and valid point.
You know what's crazy? Their records are backwards right now.
Yes. I'm not going to go down and listen. What I'm not going to do is make fun of the Phillies at all. I'm not doing that. Now, in September, if things are looking the way that they were looking, yeah, I'll be the first guy to jump on that. But I'm not doing that. I'm not the guy that starts the wave, all right, in the 8th inning when you're up 2 runs, assuming everything's going to go well. All right, I like to see everything a little bit farther down the pike before I just claim victory. I'm not claiming victory. I'm not jumping on that.
No one's watching right now. We're just having.
I'm not jumping on that grave yet, but don't think that I'm not paying attention to it. Don't think I'm not paying attention to it. There would be nothing better, Nick, than to host a parade and start that thing in Middletown. There'd be nothing better. I will do it myself. There'd be nothing. I will. I'll tell you right now. The Reds win the World Series. I personally, now this isn't even that far. I'd probably do it farther. I personally will walk from the most northern part of Middletown, Ohio, all the way to Great American Ballpark.
We probably shouldn't go too far because the Phillies are probably going to be looking to salary dump people at the All-Star break.
That's true.
You never know.
Welcome back. Welcome them back with open arms.
Reel him back in.
Yeah. It's like this is people are going to kill me.
Throw in some money.
I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that, baby. I didn't mean that. You know that movie? Pretty sure it's Happy Gilmore, but
really,
I think so. Well, what do I know? I don't know. Maybe it's Billy Madison. They're all the same movie. Regardless, Chad will let me know. You don't think it's not to get sidetracked. All right, Chase Burns. Really good at baseball. Throws really, really hard. Yet again, he was able to get out of some jams, in my opinion. He got himself in a situation a few times where one swing of the bat would have kind of, I don't want to say ruined the start, but would have certainly made a pretty big indent on the idea of handing it over to the bullpen with a chance to win. But he did it. He found a way to get out of innings, and ultimately Chase Burns is is a reason why we drafted him in the spot that we did. Velo was nice to see. He's right back in triple digits and looks healthy, despite the fact that I think there in spring training, if you don't remember, there was this question mark on whether he was healthy or not healthy, and oh my gosh, and he stood in front of the cameras and told everybody he was fine. He's not totally sure why the Reds are doing what they're doing, but that's what they're doing, so he's fine, and he looks fine, Nick.
22 swing and misses tonight. I mean, I think the most impressive thing is he walks the leadoff batter, and then he doesn't walk a single batter the rest of the night. Like, I love stuff like that. Rhett Lauder's kind of done the same thing. Just what him and Lauder have done has been really just fun to watch. Yeah, I mean, he's as good as it gets. I'm with the commenters saying extend him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's gonna get hard. It's already hard. I mean, he's it'd be hard to, like, if Chase Burns wouldn't have like Travis Bazzana made his big league debut tonight. Like, if it took Chase Burns this long to get to the big leagues, and I know they're very different players, but like, the Reds would be in trouble without Chase Burns right now. Like, he's really saved this rotation.
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. As far as the extension talk, I'll just openly say that I'm not on board with that. Not because I don't believe Chase Burns is really good. I don't buy into the idea of the longevity of the style of arms that basically Chase Burns is. Now, you can take that however you want. You can not like me for saying that, but Hunter Green has showcased a little bit even himself as to why it's a risky business getting into those long contracts with guys that throw extremely hard, because there's a chance that you run into situations where it's hard to be on the field at all times as you get older. And the fact that you have Chase Burns for the amount of time that you already do, I guess I'm in the ballpark of just saying, let's enjoy this while we can. And maybe if the finances change at some point for the Reds organization, then certainly I'm open to that. But I'm not opposed to the fact that Chase Burns isn't worth it. I just always hesitant in saying extend guys while you still have a ton of team control to a certain extent. I get arbitration exists with guys like Chase Burns. Now, he has saved this rotation, because it would be pretty bleak. Think about this. If the Reds would have drafted like many people would have wanted, and I get that if you had Nick Kurtz, then maybe things would change and you wouldn't be as upset about it. But if they would have drafted outfielders instead of these two arms, the Reds would be in a world of hurt, right? Like, if you don't have Rhett Lauder and you don't have Chase Burns right now, you don't have a team. I mean, really, you don't have a chance. And maybe I'm overreacting a little bit, but the rotation that the Reds would have to roll out without those two guys right now would be disgusting.
And Charlie Condon wouldn't be helping you out right now. Travis Bazzana wouldn't be helping you out until literally right now, and maybe he helps you out this year. There's really no guarantee that he'll hit right away as a rookie. I don't think his numbers in AAA were over the moon. Again, I think he's incredible talent. I'm not trying to discount the guy, but he's not helping you right now. I guess for me, kind of with Burns, it's more I'm looking for a Green type deal for him. And Hunter Green would be making the same amount of money right now if he was in arbitration. I mean, literally, that's probably about exactly what you would expect. $8 million. Nick Lodolo is in the same boat and is making 6.5, and I think Green's more, certainly. I mean, that's the All-Star appearances. Green probably honestly makes more than that right now. So you're not paying any extra for Hunter Green, and basically you got 2 extra years for it. So that'd be kind of the thing I'd be looking at with Burns. Like, even if Burns, with all due respect, gets hurt, you're not going to cut him over the next 6 years, and he's still going to get paid either way in arbitration as he gets older. So it'd be more about buying out those arbitration years and trying to get you a couple extra than anything else, because he's going to be at a very expensive pitcher, probably a lot more expensive than like Hunter Green and Nick Lodolo. I would be certain more expensive, because those guys took them longer to develop into above average arms. Hunter Green rolled out of bed and he was an above average arm in the big leagues.
Yeah, I'm not like I get it. It all depends on what the deal looks like. But when you're asking a guy to sign an extension, my guess is it's not going to be as team friendly as what Hunter Green's turned out to be. We can keep pointing to that contract and saying, yeah, we want it to be a Hunter Green contract. That's nice and that's great to say, but I just don't know if that's what's going to get agreed upon. I agree. It would
probably
wrong.
be more than that.
Yeah,
it would be more. You got Green at kind of a good. It wasn't a buy super low on Green, but it wasn't. You weren't buying.
I don't think Green had showcased.
Best.
Maybe I'm wrong on this. You can correct me because I wasn't nearly as engaged when this went down as you were probably. But I don't think Green got off to the same way that Chase Burns has gotten off to in regards to the way that it's looked. And again, maybe the longevity hasn't been there for Burns yet to say that. But at the end of it all, where I'm at is if you believe that scouting and development and drafting is the way of which the future for your organization and that's how you're going to win, then there's only a handful of guys that you're going to be able to extend. And the question of the day is going to be, which ones do you want to pick? And that's, listen, the good news is right now is there's a couple guys that we all want to extend because they're young and they're playing great. But it's just, and maybe I'm wrong in saying that they can't extend Burns and Sal Stewart, and I've already given up on Elly. But hypothetically speaking, if you told me I had a couple options to pick from, right now Burns he's just not that high on that list yet. But again, without Burns and without Rhett Lauder right now, this team would be cooked. And the good news is that we have them both. So, I mean, who? Honest to God, you know this off the top of your head better than me, but who's throwing the ball if we don't have those two guys?
Chase Petty, Julian Aguilar, Jose Franco.
Yeah, and we've seen Jose Franco, and no offense to him, he's minor league pitcher of the year. That's all great and dandy, but he's not looked great at the big leagues. Petty's boy, oh boy. I mean, he ought to.
Those guys all have upside, but if you think Brandon Williamson's bad right now, like you wouldn't even expect that out of probably any of those guys right now.
There's going to be a bobblehead day for Chase Petty at Kings Island in June.
Is it really?
Yeah. So it's a roller coaster. He's on a roller coaster. It's going down the hill.
I walked into that one.
All right. We have some more supers, and we have also 988. Nick, let everybody know in case people are tuning in from Colorado, because they do need. I mean, if you're a Rockies fan, let's be honest, times are tough.
We want to remind you can call or text 988 anytime, day or night. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is a place to get support for anything related to mental health, whether it's an immediate crisis, simply wanting to find out how to connect with care, or anything in between. It's a 100% secure and anonymous way to reach out for help when you don't know where else to turn. To connect, call or text 988 or visit mantherapy.org to get help. It's okay not to be okay.
I looked away from the super chats. I come back, and there are so many super chats that I couldn't even. I mean, honest to God. I mean, this show's going to take 3 hours, people. 3 hours.
That's what they want.
Fetter says steer set the tone. Not stare, steer. That's right, Fetters. I tell you what, you and Everett, you keep pounding the drum about Spencer Steer, and I got to give you credit. He's come around a little bit. Sitting left-handed pitching like it's going out of business. Earl of Sandwich 91. Don't know of what that means, but anyway, Earl, he says, I need to get my ring finger measured for this World Series our boys are going to go get. Go Redlegs. I mean, I told
We're
Nick,
feeling real good right now.
Hey, man, I got to be honest. I mean, after you watch today's game, I looked at my son. I said, this team just might be good, man. I mean, they just might be good. I don't know. I'm not there yet. I don't want to proclaim them as good yet, but boy, it feels like that. Samuel George says, just walked out of the stadium. That place was absolutely rocking. ATO BTTR. I love that. I love that on a Tuesday we got people chiming in on the fact that the stadium was rocking. 3-2-1, marketing is on its way to being glorious. Ned Flanders says, did your Cincinnati Reds have the best offseason of any other team in the National League? We haven't even seen Caleb Ferguson yet, he says.
Coming soon.
That's right. Flat Rock says, great game. How nice is it to watch a Reds game without chewing my nails off and wallowing in the pits of despair? I think it's wallowing, but nonetheless. What a relief, spelled Rolaids. Yeah, I gotta agree. There's not many of these games that we've had over the course of the past few years that have just gone this way, where it's just like awesome. Every time you turn, it's like, man, that's nice. That's nice to see. Jack said, I also saw Chris Robbins steal a ball from a kid. That Chris Robbins, what a jerk. I mean, come on, Chris. Leave that to the ball hawks, please. Jack Lavin.
You see the guy in Cleveland?
No.
Yes, yesterday there was a guy in Cleveland that stole a ball from a girl, and he deleted Twitter. He got bullied off.
He got bullied off the app. Damn.
Yeah,
it's tough. If Nick doesn't grow a stash for May, he's a fake fan. Some are saying.
I don't know if I could grow. I don't think you'd want to. I mean, it would be like uneven. It would not be pretty.
Ned Flanders says, your boy Steer, Trace, is on track for 30 home runs. Just saying. I listen. You know what, folks? I'm a fair guy. I think I'm a fair guy. I call a spade when I see one. And the truth is this. Who's been clamoring for Spencer Steer to move up in the lineup? Who's been saying it? I've been saying for at least 2 weeks now that I'd be okay. I'd be perfectly fine with seeing Spencer Steer hitting the 2-hole if we're going to continue to run out the same 1-2 hitters that we've ran out time and time again. I'm telling you, I'm ready for it. Spencer Steer can lead off if he wants to. Honest to God truth, at this point, I would put him in second because Meyer seems to be playing pretty well as well. But let him hit second. I not to say I haven't seen. Listen, I'm not out on Matt McClain. I'm not out on him. I don't think he's that big of a problem. But it is just head scratching that we continue to run out 1 and 2. But nonetheless, I'm trying my best not even get on that tangent tonight. Boy, good pinch hitting. Anyway, Trajan, he's back again. He says, if Nick dressed up as a cop on the next stream, Ned Flanders and Rolf will each super chat $50 each. Now we got other super chatters telling other super chatters how much they're going to super chat if Nick dresses like a cop. Elijah says, yeah, we need to see that. We need to extend Daryl Ward, says Elijah.
Louisville AAA hitting coach.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. He's a fan of the show. We went through the whole list last week. I knew that. Of course, I knew who Daryl Ward was. Right when I seen that, I was like, oh, Daryl Ward. I know him.
Old Daryl.
I can't figure out what the heck it is. I don't know if it's a combination of the pitching just being that much worse in AAA, or maybe it's Daryl Ward, or if these guys put so much pressure on themselves when they get to the big leagues that it's just like insurmountable for them to have success. But I don't know, Nick. I have a hard time believing that AAA pitching is that much better than the major leagues, or that much worse than the major leagues, I should say. Like, I mean, yes, it's better in the big leagues. I get it. It's probably a decent jump. But you can't go from looking like Babe Ruth to looking like TJ Friedel that fast.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big gap. I also think that we've kind of seen like maybe the worst case scenario. It didn't feel like a big gap for Sal Stewart, like he's put up the same type of numbers. So I think that yes, there's a big gap, but I also think like we've kind of seen like the most drastic examples of late of it. I don't think it would be this pronounced forever.
All right. Jack says, Nick's the hardest working man I know. He pulled me over for a speeding ticket on the interstate this morning. Now he's talking Reds. Do you know why I pulled you over?
I mean, I wrote so many tickets today, I don't remember.
You're gonna,
no mercy.
You're going to eat this one all year. Mean JD says, if I super about free pizza, is it still free pizza? Nah, I don't know. That's a good one. I don't know. Maybe. My guess is that you could have gotten half of a pizza for the super that you sent. Maybe not, actually. The more I look at it, maybe like a half of a slice, the way things are going. We have so many supers. We're going to have to do some supers at the end of the show. I mean, come on, folks. Holy, this is hilarious. There's this many super chats, dude. What is going on? Holy smokes. All right, listen. We got a super chat problem, bro. I'm not even kidding you. We have a super chat problem. I'm going to lose my voice. I just scrolled down through the super chats. There's like 30 more to do.
We just got to do a little rapid fire here.
I can't. I can't.
Take a few.
No, I don't need I'm not a platoon guy, Nick. I'm an everyday guy. I don't do platoons. I'm not getting Dane Myered. I'm not getting Dane Myered on my show. No.
They did against the right-handed pitcher in the 8th inning.
No, I know. I'm saying I'm not getting. Everyone always says I'm getting Wally pipped. I'm not. Well, no. You're right. I got it backwards. I'm not getting TJ Friedel. I'm not getting TJ Friedel. Although that doesn't seem the case because JJ Bleday's like, oh, what? I thought I hit the home run yesterday or 2 days ago. Anyway,
needed a week to pop out to
this guy's got one home run. He's been here for 2 years. Anyway, all right, rapid fire. Dustin Pruitt says 5 times a week I tune into my favorite show, the Elly and Sal show. Of course, thank you. That's a good one. I like it. Just Darks says, I graduated. Now, when I do rapid fire, I know you're going to get mad at me because I stopped here. When I do rapid fire, there is a very, 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 very huge anxiety that I carry that I'm reading this word for word, and there might be something in these super chats that's not going to go well. I'm just telling you.
I'll look ahead.
Thank you. You be my eyes, please, and make sure you're not the guy that was on the Titanic. Justin Dark says, I graduated from the Police Academy with Chris Robbins and Nick back in 2008. What a time. Sadly, I got dishonorably discharged for excessive force. Oh, man. Based off the headlines, I think that was about the time frame that excessive force was a big problem in the police academies. Justin Darks, thank you for the super. Chris Robbins didn't say anything, but he super chatted. Thank you. Darks back again. He says, too much fireball on the job. Shouldn't have punched that lady. But see, Nick, you got to read ahead, Nick. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Too much fireball on the job. Shouldn't have punched that lady. But she was resisting, and I said, stop resisting. She didn't listen. Typical. I am not saying that. I am not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that at all. That's the only reason I'm even alive. And you, by the way.
I got to lock it.
Yeah, you better lock it in. We won't be back on the show tomorrow. Chris Robbins says, it's me, Chris Robbins. Sorry to that kid, but nothing free in life. Go Reds. Hashtag Sal saved my life. And Garvey's back again. He says, y'all need to use Super Chat money to buy the Reds. Yeah, I think we got a long way to go. Although after tonight, maybe not. Just Dark says, do you think we'll get Aaron Judge or Ohtani next? I think Ohtani is the next guy we probably get. 26 Super Chat for Mark Fetters. Thank you, Fetters. Schmick Schmack. I can't say it any other way. Schmick Schmack said, the Phillies talk about the Reds winning the World Series. Yeah, that was the joke, Schmick Schmack, that's what they said. He wanted to go win a World Series. He signed with the Phillies. Turns out they're not doing so well. Trajan says, Trace, if they win the World Series, you got to buy me Fireball. Sure, no problem. Dude, I'll buy you a pallet of Fireball if the Reds can win the World Series. Molly Votto says, 28th, read them all. Fetter says 33. Molly says 34, baby. The OGs are now just ripping supers. Rolf says, if the Reds win the World Series, I'll buy an El Camino, hire a driver to pick me up, Nick, come back to Trace's house, and we will walk next to the car all the way to GABP, resting as needed in the back. I will walk all the way from literally wherever Middletown is. In fact, I'm not the creep on the guy, but if there's a way to walk by the house, I will walk by the house on the way to the Great American Ballpark. Nick, I feel like Elly. I need a day off. What?
Am I getting in, Coach?
No, you're Will Benson. Chase Wellman says, Elly, Sal, most RBIs by teammates under 25 before May, all time. Rolf says 37. Just Dart says, do you think that we should sign Russell Wilson? Musty Sneeze says, here you go, Trace. Read another super. Let's go, Reds. Trajan Garvey says, live stream is my Eras tour. Chris Robbins, ball thief. Boy, Trajan, you went all caps and then you didn't go all caps. It was really tough there. Just Dart says that ball was promised to Chris Robbins 3,000 years ago. Optimistic John says, enjoy the wins. Get more supers. Nick can buy the baby's new shoes. Yeah. Nick needs all the help he can get, I'm sure. He's got like 7 of them up there. Just Dark says, Trace, wake up your fan by yelling 100 donation. Dude, if I yell anymore, honest to goodness truth, I don't have anything left down here to drink. That's a lie. I got one thing here really quickly. That'll get him going. Big Red Machine. We all know that I love the Big Red Machine. There's 613 people still in here right now. I cannot believe there's this many people in here. Listen to me having to rip through super chats. We're supposed to be talking Reds baseball. Very serious stuff. Some very serious super sports talk show stuff right now. We should be debating whether or not who should be in the bullpen tomorrow, what their usage should be, and also who the first guy is off the bench if there's a pinch hitting spot. But no, we're going to talk about the Big Red Machine. Why? Because that's what this franchise has done for the last 35 years. Every year since 2023, I've super chatted how Elly will be the Michael Jordan of MLB. Here's this year's Elly should be a top ballot shortstop all-star this year. Not even close if he keeps playing this good. That's a bold take. It's a bold take, Big Red Machine, but I got to give it to you. Kudos to you. All right. Jordan Lane says, Elly's diving catch last year versus Baltimore was, in my opinion, his best defensive play. That's fair. He's had so many. Fergie Fowler says, the Trace know what an El Camino is. No. Am I supposed to know what that is?
It's a car, isn't it?
I don't know. When did that come up in the show?
It was in a super chat from Rolf. We'd ride in the El Camino.
Oh, that's right. From Middletown down to Great American. Listen, my brain's mush right now, buddy. I got to tell you. The jokes aren't even coming.
I think I still like the LA play from today more than the catch against the Orioles. That was the 24 run game that Austin wins.
Oh, Austin wins made it. Yeah, never got a fair chance. Austin wins. It's a shame. Musty Sneeze says, let's give some flowers to Dane Myers. ATOBTTR. Yes, Dane Myers deserves all the flowers. Flat Rock 79 says, the dog used to make... Come on, man. The dog used to take dumps on the turf in Riverfront. What does that even mean? Molly Votto says 50. Trajan says, thank you, Trace.
Skip.
Trajan, thank you for the super chat. Rolf says 51. Terry Miller says, do you think Scott Hatteberg's a good player? Hell yeah. I think Scott Hatteberg's a good player. You know why? Why, Nick? Why is Scott Hatteberg a good player?
Hell of a platoon player.
Nope.
Because Adam Dunn said so?
Nope.
Was it Marty that said so?
Nope. Because he gets on base.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Nick.
As a platoon player.
Come on, Nick. Ed Kent says, Sabo. Say it ain't say Sabo. Had that on the bingo card for the Reds show, as Sabo was going to get brought up. Samuel George says, never let supers in, good vibes only. Real Spirit Cat says, imagine doubting Spencer Steer. Here we go. I'll tell you what, all you Spencer Steer folks are coming right out of the woodwork, 1 for 4 with a home run, and all of a sudden, here he is, the next coming. There's one thing that is typically right in line. You know what's funny about a show like this, and I love it, is that of course there's stereotypes in the world. It's because more times with the stereotypes, somebody has made a judgment call that there is a correlation between two sets of things, and that's why that exists. There's something that I have a strong suspicion about. I got a feeling that a lot of the people that bang that drum for Spencer Steer time and time and time again, no matter what, are the same people that might have suggested that Elly De La Cruz is going to need to move to center field. I don't have that for sure. I can't say that as a guarantee, but it is coincidental that maybe one of the best games of Elly De La Cruz's career, we also have the Spencer Steer fans out in full force. And you know what I'll say? I'll happily say this. Spencer Steer has earned the right to continue to get as long of a leash as he's been given. There are other guys that isn't the case for. And I will continue to beat that drum until that day comes that isn't the case anymore. And it's going to be a positive show because the Reds won 7-2, and I'm not going to talk about the pinch hit when there was 5 other better options. But it's here nor there. Just Dark says,
this is iffy.
That weak fireball, Sip kills it. Like we did in the academy. Am I right, Nick? I literally urinate fireball in my sleep. Grow up. All right, we've lost the supers. Fergie Fowler says we had our first date in an El Camino. No, we did not. That is a lie. And Rolf asked if that was real. That is not real. No, that's not real. I will say, though, first date I ever went on with my wife was to Waffle House, and I am proud about that because that place rocks. Free ad, by the way. Not that I think they need it. I made it, Nick. We got to move on before you're going to have to talk for a while. I know that's typically my problem that I have on this show. But nobody better in life, really, if I had to say there's one person that needs to talk about a subject as long as they possibly can, than you with Spencer Steer.
Yeah, Steer continues to hit left-handed pitching very well. OPS of 1,013 against lefties. So I don't know. That was kind of we had those weird numbers for 2024 and early last season. But yeah, I mean, he's absolutely crushing lefties right now. So yeah, the batting second, that's kind of interesting. It would kind of make it, if Steer's continuing to crush lefties this well, I mean, that would really kind of double up Elly with the guy that can hit lefties in front of him, guy that can hit lefties behind him. So you really have to pay there. And if you're going to continue to bat Friedel leadoff, yeah, I mean, I think that makes sense. I don't think Matt McLain makes sense either. So I think maybe it would make more sense to McLain. Although McLain does actually have a on-base percentage over 400 against lefties himself. And McLain, when he was at his best in 2023, was really, really good against lefties as well. So I guess, I don't know, my biggest takeaway is this team really overall is really hitting left-handed pitching. And remember, that was like such a big issue for this team for a long time. But you have Dane Myers at the top of the lineup. McLain, like I just mentioned, his on-base percentage is over 400 against lefties. Sal is destroying lefties. Steer is destroying lefties. I think Tyler Stevenson will get there. His career numbers certainly dictate that. And Brian Hayes has actually been an above-average hitter against lefties over the course of his career. So for a team that couldn't hit lefties to save their life not that long ago,
I agree.
I don't know if it's a strength of this team because you have Elly De La Cruz, but they're at least close to even on either side.
Yeah, it does. I know some of it's my bias. I openly admit right now that I have too much of a too much of a stronghold opinion on the fact that TJ Friedel continues to lead off, and it really warps my brain around just too much other things. And I don't think that it probably matters as much as I'm making it out to be, but it just pisses me off because it just showcases the stubbornness that we have that we don't need to have. And it's like there's so many other great things that are going on that's just like the only thing that just seems like we just can't get over. But having said that, I almost enjoy the left-handed pitching now because it does take that away, and it puts a guy at the top of the leadoff spot that does do well against left-handed pitching. And you saw it tonight. Like if your leadoff guy is capable of putting pressure on the opening frame, it just changes the dynamic of the way in which the inning can go. I mean, there was 2 outs when Steer gets his home run. If you don't, it's obvious to say this out loud, but if you're incapable of kind of getting a couple guys on base in that spot, then you don't ever see Steer in a spot like that with the guys earlier in the lineup. It just feels like far too many times our best hitters are coming up right now with 2 outs and nobody on base, or possibly at best one guy on base with 2 outs. Far too often in the first inning.
You know what's hard right now? It's hard to complain about the margins because the Reds are literally every single coin flip. They keep flipping heads.
Right.
Like when is tails gonna land?
Yeah.
So it's hard to really complain. I guess you just have to write it out. I think there's a lot of people that just would rather you not talk about it till it's an issue. But
I agree. I think many people probably are tired of hearing about the lineup talk and listen, I will say this about Steer. I felt like there at the beginning of the year that he was getting preferential treatment based off of something that he did so long ago that it felt like that just didn't seem like it was deserved. And to be openly fair about giving guys longer leashes than maybe I would hope that they get, we have reaped the benefit of Spencer Steer showcasing that he has hit lefties really, really well. And maybe he'll turn it around against righties as well. But regardless, the one thing that Spencer Steer has done all year that has kind of changed my opinion of him is that he has pop. There's power there. It'd be one thing if Spencer Steer, was, for lack of a better term, a below average hitter in the league and also just had no juice, no pop. But that's not really been the case with him. So that's why I've always just kind of been like, well, I can live with that. And it's nice to see Steer, as I've said before, also seemingly comes up big in big moments. He has, whether you believe in the clutch gene or not, many people would argue and defend or think that the clutch gene is just kind of this fake thing. I don't think that it is. I think that if you play sports, there's certain guys that can handle the pressure better than others. You can see it in all aspects of every sport. And I do think that Spencer Steer has a little bit of the clutch gene in him. So I appreciate that out of him. So there's really only so much you can talk about anymore on a strategic level with this team, which is a good thing, Nick. We've had years and years of doing this show, and we've debated at length for multiple years about who should be here and what should you. You know what happens when you have a good team, Nick? Honest to goodness truth. There's really not a lot to talk about. There's not a lot to debate. The question is whether you execute or whether you don't execute. We're not going to sit here and ever argue whether Elly should play shortstop in the next month or 2 months, or we're not going to argue if Sal Stewart's a guy that should be at the top of the lineup. We're not going to argue whether or not, if Hunter Green comes back, if he should be in the rotation or not. You know why? Because that means we have legitimately good players. And to be quite honest with you, I'm really in a spot now where I don't have a problem with damn near anything that's been going on outside of just the fact that we have this one guy that has no juice, no pop, and he continues to get run, and he's the first guy off the bench in a pinch hit spot. But outside of that, genuinely, Nick, I don't know how you couldn't be more happy with the way things have gone for this team. So that's the positive. That's my positive outlook on all this. People think that obviously maybe I'm negative about it in regards to just the fact that I keep bringing up TJ. But truth is that's really the only place that you could point to and say that there's a glaring issue.
It kind of goes into the next thing. I I'm a little concerned about the bullpen. Like, I feel like they just keep getting away with stuff that's not going to play over the course of 162 games. And I know like their ERA is incredible, but I mean, you look at like the Reds were walking in with 6 batters per 9 innings out of their bullpen. Like, that is not a recipe in this ballpark. When it gets warmer, that will work. So again, I don't think the bullpen's bad, but I don't think the bullpen is as elite as it's shown. And I'm not even individually, like, I'm not like, oh, I'm super worried about Graham Ashcraft. Oh, I'm super worried about Tony Santillan. But I just don't think they're going to be able to keep it up at this level. So I do think that's what's paramount about Nick Lodolo coming back, Hunter Green, who, by the way, like, maybe is way ahead of any realistic timeline. Might be throwing a bullpen in about 3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. So that's good. And the lineup pass being longer, because I think the Reds need to prepare for the bullpen to have some regression. That's just kind of what I'm getting at right now.
I get that, but I also don't know if you can prepare for that. I don't think it's something that you're going to be like, well, there's something to fix. It's either these guys are going to be able to continue to perform at the level in which they're capable or what they've been capable of performing at already this year, or they're not. I don't think that you can go in and be like, well, we need to try to do something on the starting pitching perspective to try to shore things up. It is what it is. We've already seen how hard it is to get starting pitching. We went out and paid Frankie Montas a ton of money because that's just what the market dictated, and he's average at best. And 2 years later, he's not even really in the league. It's just like one of those situations now where we all understand collectively that if you watch this team every day, that we've had good fortune, and I'm not going to apologize for it. And I don't give a damn whether we've had good fortune or not, because I know one thing: I've watched certain teams in this division year after year after year seemingly be lucky after lucky after lucky. And the one thing I did notice about that one specific team that I'm not going to name that seemingly was lucky was that they found ways to win, and they did have some solid players. They played good defense. And they just had arms that ultimately threw strikes and got guys out. And that's the way that we've won. Like, it's not been by pure luck. I do think that, yes, there's some fortune in the fact that you're 10-0 or whatever that number is now, and the 2 runs or less in extra innings. But I also would openly admit that we have had guys offensively that we know are better than what they've showcased so far, and that they're going to come around. Brian Hayes is a good example of that. He's going to come around and be a much better hitter than he's been. Tyler Stevenson's a better hitter than what he's been so far this year. Matt McClain, I hesitate in saying this, I think is a better hitter than what he's showcased so far. Again, I can't point to Matt McClain and say, yeah, I know for a fact that he is. He's had a good year in the big leagues, yes, and then he got hurt, and then he struggled pretty bad, and then all of a sudden he had a great spring training, and now we're dealing with what he's been so far. And he's not been abysmal. Matt McClain's not been abysmal, but he's not been the kind of guy that I think that many of us were hoping to get once he kind of left Arizona this year. So ultimately, like, and our leadoff spot has been not good at all. I guess, yes, you could argue that Dane Myers has been good, but like, TJ Friedl is a guy that is significantly better than what he's been. Now, whether he should continue to get run or not, I don't know. But the truth is like his production, or the production that we should get in his spot, should be better. So yes, I do agree, Nick, that on one hand, the bullpen is probably punching above their weight right now. I just kind of still feel optimistic in the fact that it does feel like this team finds ways to win, and they believe that they're supposed to win, which is maybe the coolest thing that I've seen so far this year. Is I do think these guys believe that they're better than whoever it is that they're walking out on the field against any given night. And I don't know if that's fair to be said about previous seasons. I really don't think that that's true. So,
yeah, I mean they've won every game in the margins. I think they're 13-1 in games where they scored first. So like, when they've got a lead, they've held it, and that's been really remarkable. I just like, if I'm trying to like poke holes at things, I think the bullpen's probably the one that I think probably right now just is kind of glaring to me as something that could be a concern here at some point.
I understand. I think most reasonable fans would think that this is insane what the bullpen has done. I mean, I said preseason. I keep calling it preseason, but spring training. The opening day show. I said I liked Graham Ashcraft. I really do like Graham Ashcraft. I would have never expected Graham Ashcraft to be as good as he's been. We still, I guess, are. The funny thing is we had this Pagan situation arise a little bit, and oddly enough, I think fans were semi-concerned about Pagan, and then he finds a way to get a save, and then it feels like he's not been in a pivotal moment since that happened. So, there's two ways to look at it, Nick. We can sit here and wait for the shoe to drop, or we can just say that, you know what, I'm going to ride it. I mean, I know you're doing the same, but I'm just going to ride it until it's not, and at that point we'll try to figure it out. But maybe we'll start winning games 9-7. Seriously,
it's crazy. Pagan has thrown 11 pitches in the last week.
Yeah, I mean,
he's not even been a part of this team for the last week.
I know, and I thought that's honestly why I was frustrated when Connor Phillips was throwing the ball on his fifth straight. I think it was his fifth start in the last 6 days, fifth outing in the last 6 days, or maybe it was his fourth outing in the last 5 days, whatever that was. I just didn't understand that because it's like, hey, this guy Pagan, he needs to throw the ball a little bit, and this game's out of hand. So we'll see.
Phillips has got some rest too. He's only thrown 7 pitches in the last 5 days now.
Yep. So, and the off days help, right? You get an off day on Thursday, and you get an off day on Monday, so that helps. But yeah, we'll see if they can keep it going. Reds MILB. It is Tuesday, which I always have to check because it means that there's actually baseball to be played. I know Craig was hoping, begging, praying some of these games would go final, but I think that they have. Nick, little Reds MILB.
All right, Reds MILB presented by 78 Cigars. Cincinnati legend Anthony Munoz is a new venture, and we are fired up to partner with it here on Chatterbox Reds. Introducing 78 Cigars, a premium cigar line from the Hall of Famer himself. If you love great cigars in Cincinnati football history, this is the perfect combination. You can grab 78 Cigars right now at both Montgomery and locations or over at Creekside Cigar Company. You can also check them out online. Just head to anthonymunoz.com. Click on the 78 Cigars page and learn more or place your order today. That's 78 Cigars from the greatest offensive lineman to ever do it, Anthony Munoz. We start off with AAA, where the Louisville Bats continue to play really well. They beat Omaha 5-1. Bats have now won 7 out of their last 9 games, and they are now 17-11 on the season. I mentioned it. The Bats have not been in the playoffs since, I believe, 2010 was the last time that they were in the playoffs. And at the moment, they are currently just a game and a half out of a playoff spot. Noelvi Marte, another good day, 2 for 3, a walk, stole his 7th base of the season. Hector Rodriguez hit his 5th home run of the year. Hit well, 107 off the bat. He also had a single hit, 109.8. Edwin Arroyo, 2 for 4 with a double. Blake Dunn, 1 for 5, stole his 6th base. He did have 3 hard hit balls on the day. All right, on the pitching side, Kyle Nicholas threw a perfect inning in his first game since being optioned. He struck out 1. Zach Maxwell threw a perfect inning, threw 9 of his 10 pitches for strikes, which you love to see. He's not allowed to run in 8 of his last 10 appearances. Maxwell struck out 2 today. How about Andrew Chafin? He threw another perfect inning, lowered his season ERA to 0.96. All right, down at AA, Chattanooga beat Birmingham 4-3. Our Lookouts now 17-5 on the season. Caleb Ferguson made his first appearance for the Reds organization after signing this offseason for 1 year, $4.5 million. He's on a rehab assignment for an oblique injury that's kept him out of action since March 7th. And Ferguson throws a scoreless inning, did walk 1, struck out 1. Carlos Jorge hit his first AA home run. Really good to see. He's having a great start to the year. He's 2 for 3, also walked. Cam Collier 0 for 4, Leo Balcazar 2 for 4, and Austin Hendrick hit his 4th home run of the season. Down to high A, the Dayton Dragons, they lost 11-6 to Lansing. Dayton falls to 10-11 on the season. Carlos Sanchez 1 for 5 with a double. Kind Vu was 2 for 5. Alfredo Duno 2 for 4 with a double. And Alfredo Alcantara 2 for 4 with a double. And last but not least, the Daytona Tortugas. I think they're getting all the bad luck that the Reds are getting the good luck from. They lose 11-10 to Fort Myers. The Tortugas scored 8 runs in the 5th inning, but they fall to the Mighty Muscles. Daytona now 6-16 on the season. But thankfully, you get the restart here in a couple months. Kyle Henley 1 for 5 with a walk. Jacob Friend, that guy's been incredible down at high. He was 2 for 5, hit his 6th home run of the season. Tyson Lewis 3 for 5 with a double and a walk. Arnaldo Lantigua 1 for 5. Mason Neville 0 for 3, but did walk twice. That is your Reds MILB.
Love it. I am all for. I'm all for Daytona getting all the bad luck and the Reds getting the good ones. So, no offense to the folks down there. The weather, the beach should be nice. Hopefully they enjoy it. But if we can continue to find a way to get as lucky, if you want to call it that, as the Reds have been in certain position groups, then Daytona can lose every game. Respectfully, of course. All right. We have more baseball to be played, Nick. We have a who, what, when, where, and why. We get to play the same team that we just played. That's a fortunate thing. But why don't you share the folks that there's more storylines here in the good old Colorado Rocky game.
Yeah, Brandon Williamson will take the mound tomorrow, 6:40 start time. Williamson actually made his big league debut against the Colorado Rockies. You might remember back on May 16th, 2023, went 5 2/3, 2 hits, 1 run in that one. Not a whole lot of hitters have seen him, though. Only 3 active Rockies. Brenton Doyle's 1 for 4. Jake McCarthy is 1 for 2 with a double, and Ezekiel Tovar is 1 for 2. Reds going up against Tomoyoki Sagano. We thought he was going to pitch yesterday, or sorry, we thought he was going to pitch on Tuesday here in the series opener, but Kyle Freeland ended up getting activated and pushed him back a day. He's off to a good start for the Rockies. He is 2-1 with a 3.42 ERA. I don't really have a whole lot of more notes on the right-hander, but yeah, Brendan Williamson, need a big start out of him.
Need a big start out of one of the left-handers that we're supposed to probably, what I would say, be a bright spot in this rotation. Whether that's Williamson that can provide it or whether it's Abbott that can provide it, one of them needs to do it. And we can't continue to find ourselves in a spot where both of those guys, and I would even say this, I'm not even asking for like a gem. I'm not asking for a spot where you go out and you throw 7 or 8 innings of just 1 run. Okay, but I do need this, Nick. I need someone to eat some innings, right? I would love for at least one of these starters the next 2 days to get me at least 7 innings. Now, I know that's a lot in the big leagues. I get it. But we can't keep doing the 4 and 5 inning deal time and time again and expect the bullpen to basically be perfect like they have been most of this year. So we'll see if they're capable of doing that. And hopefully Williamson can give us a leg up starting tomorrow and give us a chance for a sweep. That's what we always want. That's what we're looking for. Now, as I would say, Nick, probably you'd say the same. I know we're looking for the sweep because there's a super chat right here I'm about to read. But I'm going to tell you, you win the series, that's a good series. Sweeps are hard to get. Eric Meyer says, beat the teams we're supposed to beat. Sweep this week. Extend the division lead. Go Reds. Yeah, I am all for beating the teams we're supposed to beat. And oddly enough, Nick, was it 2 years ago? That was kind of the problem. The Reds had no issues beating some of the teams at the top of the league.
It was last year.
Was it last year?
Got pounded by the Nationals, remember?
Yeah, and couldn't beat The Cardinals. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't beat the Pirates. Pirates are sneaky tough, though. We've been saying that for years. We're starting to showcase itself, but we'll see. They are the Pirates, and that's that. All right, Stoy. He's an OG, so and I just don't know how to say it. Stoy to Lark, maybe. Stoy to Lark says Stoy to Lark. Anyway, the greatest utility man and the best first sacker on the team. Steer. War Seabox, War Reds, War Raphael, Landstroy, and Barry Larkin. Hey, Barry Larkin's birthday today. Did you see that?
Shout out, Barry. Yeah, the cupcake.
Boy, I mean, full-fledged production, too, that they put forth on that thing. They had that poor guy trying to do the camera angle up there, and he was, like, falling in the curtain. Anyway. Rolf says, we can ride Elly to his new position in center field in the El Camino. He is so error-prone, just like the El Camino's transmission. Yeah, tongue-in-cheek. Elly's been awesome so far. We'll see. Ed Kent says Ichiro Kano is a love child.
Shout out Ichiro Kano.
Am I supposed to know what that?
I got a couple. I got a couple more notes. Please. On Tomo Yoki.
Love that.
Sugano.
Yeah, you felt bad. You shorted him.
I don't want to short him. This guy's impressive. I mean, you look at this guy's Wikipedia page. I mean, this brother. I mean, he's an 8-time All-Star over in Japan. He's 36 years old. Kind of crazy. He came over and signed a 1-year contract last year with the Orioles. Not many players come over and sign 1-year contracts.
Right.
Pitched pretty well for them, and then signed a 1-year, 5-year deal with the Rockies. So far, looking like a pretty good deal for him.
He got wind of he got on Google Maps and got wind of what it was like in Baltimore. That's why he signed a 1-year deal.
Nathaniel Lowe is the only Red that's faced him. He's 1 for 8. Nathaniel Lowe has 8 at-bats against the right-hander. Throws 7 different pitches. This is what makes me a little nervous. 7 different pitches. And doesn't throw very hard. It's about 92 is what he maxes out at. So kind of feels like that kind of pitcher that maybe the Reds have struggled with a little bit.
We'll see. We'll see.
But you never know. Hey, things are going good. Things are going good.
Things are going good.
If we hit this guy, I mean, print the tickets.
I think they're starting to get printed already. Trayvon says, what a stream tonight. The vibes need to keep rolling. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that super chatted. What a night. What a show. What a Reds win. What a fun game this was to watch. And just want to say thank you to all the support that we've continued to get. And really, most importantly, it would be really, really nice. Really, really nice if you guys would go and leave us a review on one of the podcast platforms. That would be fantastic if you haven't done that. Trajan also said, as I see that we didn't get to it, said he might propose to his girlfriend through a super chat. So we'll see. That would be that might be a pretty crazy way to go about it. But hey, I'm not here to tell you. Love is love, man. You do your thing. You do your thing. Yeah, I mean, like, we'll it's a weird place to be on this show. It's a weird place to be on this show. As I said before, I feel like every year we've done this, we've been in a position that we've been frustrated because this team's not gotten off to the start that we had hoped for. And there was a lot of guys that I would argue that you could debate whether or not they were supposed to be here or there, or if they were too young, or there was a guy that hasn't gotten a chance yet. And the truth is that I think that for the most part, that now that Nathaniel Lowe has looked the way that he has, there's just not a lot of what I would call question marks on what this team should be on a daily basis. And excuse me, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow, Nick, and we'll be back here, as I always say, better than ever. And I got to tell you, if you gave me the option, you know I had to do this. I had to do this before we left the show. If you gave me the option to be able to play the Rockies 162 times in Coors Field, I got to be honest, I think I'd take it. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Go Reds.